What's going on, YouTube? I go by the non-truther. This is going to be my first video from this channel, and many of you probably wondering, why does this guy have on a screen mask? I'm not very photogenic, and I like to keep my identity a secret. Today we're going to talk about some of the releases that happened within WWE. I believe a part of this is due to the coronavirus. I think it's a bad thing. I feel sorry for a lot of these people. And I'm just going to give my honest review on what I think about all of it today. So, first name I see, Kurt Angle. I think Kurt came back to WWE around 2017, if I'm correct. Hall of Famer, no doubt. Great guy. Personality-wise, I mean, I don't know him personally, but from what I see, I think it sucks. Kurt was a mentor to a lot of stars. Kurt helped a lot of guys, you know. The newer guys just come in and kind of give them tips and give them lessons about the pro wrestling business, and it sucks to see Kurt go. But he's a Hall of Famer, so his legacy lives for itself, you know. Drake Maverick. Now, the thing about him is Drake Maverick is a guy, he's just naturally funny, Drake Maverick. I remember when he was Rockstar Spud in TNA, and he got over big time, or Impact Wrestling, excuse me. He got over big time in Impact. And he had a lot of funny moments with the 24/7 title with R-Truth. I think it's going to suck to see him go, but once you're talented like he is, there's no doubt that you'll find another spot in pro wrestling. Like I said, this is a tough time right now, so I feel bad for him. He looks like he was about to cry in the video, but I think he'll find success later on. Next up, Karl Anderson, Luke Gallows. Now, that whole thing confuses me with those two because it was literally just WrestleMania just passed. We seen The Undertaker kind of return as his biker gimmick. He had a great match with AJ Styles, a phenomenal match. Luke Gallows and Karl Anderson were involved in that. And just to see them release a little while after that just shows you that life does hit you fast. And I believe where WWE messed up is those two guys could have been the key, the answer to bring AJ Styles back to TV. Because if he just magically pops up, that just eliminates the whole Boneyard match. I don't think it's smart to have AJ Styles just pop back up out of TV out of nowhere. You need a storyline to bring him back, and I think those two guys were the key, and now they're gone. So, much success to them. They're pretty much a tag team known around the world, so I don't see why they won't find success anywhere. It sucks what happened. Next up, Erick Young. Erick Young, to me, should have never left TNA. I'm just being honest. If it's for money or whatever the case be, that's his life. But for me, Erick Young really did. Like, they didn't showcase his talent enough in WWE. In Impact, he was well known. He was making a name for himself. I don't get why he came to WWE. I'm not too much of an NXT guy, so I don't know what he did in NXT. But I know when he got called up to the main roster with his crew, he wasn't really doing much of anything. And that kind of sucked because he's talented. So I wish the best for Erick Young. EC3, same thing. He was Derek Bateman when he first came to WWE. Wasn't really going anywhere. Left, went to TNA, became EC3, got over, left TNA, came back to WWE, and it was the same thing. You know, they just buried the guy. And he's got the muscles. He's got it, the look, but it's just something about it that they just didn't seem to want to push him. So EC3, I would say, needs to find his lane outside of WWE. Maybe like a Drew McIntyre did, and maybe, you know, one day if they decide to take him seriously, he can come back. If not, then just do what you do. You know, it's way more wrestling companies just in WWE. I don't think people understand that. Now is a weird time to be a wrestler, but it's also a time of opportunity. You know what I mean? And I think that WWE is the top company. It always will be the top company, but there are more companies now, especially with the rise of AEW. So EC3, maybe he'll have success somewhere else, which I hope, you know. Curt Hawkins, Zack Ryder. Curt Hawkins himself, I've always seen Curt Hawkins in tag teams. Like, him by himself is never really a push or any type of momentum behind him. They put him on a losing streak to try to get that over, and that was horrible. As far as a tag team, I think Zack Ryder kind of elevates him, and that kind of tells you something, because Zack Ryder isn't at the top of the level either. But Curt Hawkins has never really been considered a main event player in their eyes. As far as Zack Ryder goes, I really feel bad for him because that guy was one of the most over talents ever seen in 2011 and early 2012. And after that, he just went down the barrel. He had a little run with the IC title after that, but it's like for the most part, they really just didn't care to use this guy after all these years of him being there. So I don't know what his situation will be in the future. I just hope Zack Ryder finds success. Him and Cody are pretty good friends, so hopefully, if Cody brings him in, hey, maybe he'll get over there. I hope. Lio Rush, Lio Rush, I believe is a guy that is entertaining, but I also believe he's a guy that puts too much stock in his height. Um, I believe he had a good run with Bobby Lashley. I believe he was better with her than Lana is. Um, so hopefully Lio Rush can find him somewhere. I mean, before he came to NXT, he was doing his things in the Indies, from what I see. So, and he's a very good guy in the ring, despite his size, and But Lio Rush, I hope he finds success as well. Heath Slater. This is one of the ones that I was mad about because Heath Slater to me has always, always, always been underrated. I believe he could have been a main event star by now if they would have pushed him and gave him the momentum he needed. We've seen 2 out of 3 of the 3MB guys, get pushed and rise to the next level, and that's what I was hoping with Heath Slater. I've been rooting for him for the longest. And I hate that things ended this way for him because he seems very passionate about, the business. He's from Georgia, like me. Some of the same schools that I visited, some of the same schools that he kind of did his thing early on with. So Heath Slater, I was really upset to hear they released him. Hopefully he comes back and does a good thing just like his former 3MB guys did. So salute to Heath Slater. Mike Chioda, sorry if I said it wrong. Legend referee, so much tenure in the business, and I hate to see somebody like that go after almost 30 years in the business. That didn't really make sense to me. You got a lot of new guys who are inexperienced and still learning, but you let go of a guy who has so much experience in the business. That didn't make sense to me. So I hope he does well with his family and hopefully finds someplace. Primo Epico, I can't get upset about their release. I believe they're talented. I believe that they could have been used better, but after a while of not seeing a talent, it's like it's a normal thing. We haven't seen him in like maybe 2 years. So hopefully they can go back to Caribbean. I believe their dad or somebody had like a promotion where Carlito wrestles, so hopefully they can go back there and become stars in their home and find some type of success. Erick Rowan, another one I got mad about because that guy's a monster house who could have been a big monster in WWE. Hopefully Erick Rowan goes to AEW and matches up with Brody Lee and they take over Dark Order together or something. I don't know. That sounds like a plan, but I hate to see Erick Rowan go because he's one of the few big guys left that they had, with so much potential. No Way Jose. It's kind of like they just made him a jobber, so it's hard to really care when you just lose match after match. It's just like, he's going, okay, So hopefully if he picks up some slack somewhere else, maybe one day he can come back and be taken seriously. I think the one that made people upset the most was Rusev. That came as a big shocker to people, including myself. The Rusev thing, to release such a talent like him, when you give him storylines that are just, they gave that guy storylines that he shouldn't have been in, which was offensive to him, and he took a crap storyline and made it into something great. Even before the Lana and Bobby Lashley storyline, I believe Rusev had amazing talent and was always underrated and underused, and I don't think sometimes they realize what kind of stars they have. They let some stars slip right through their fingers, and Rusev is one of those stars, you know what I mean? I think he'll thrive because of how talented he was. It's certain guys in the business who have it that just love the business and you can always tell who they are versus guys who just get in it for the money or just the spotlight. And I think Rusev is one of those guys that really, really cared about the business. So, I mean, I'm going to miss seeing him. I think it was a big mistake on their part, especially when you're paying guys millions and millions of dollars who don't need millions and millions of dollars. Um, so I definitely think that was a big mistake on Rusev. There's a lot of other names. Um, I've heard Finley. I've heard some of the other backstage talents. Um, and once again, I don't think that everybody they let go was a complete loss because some of these guys literally got no TV time. But some of the guys who they did let go, it's just like you could have used them so much better. Especially with some of the things you're doing on TV today. Like, Raw literally feels like a pointless 3 hour TV show at this time. It's like no good storylines, no crowd. It's just pointless TV at this point in time. You're just putting it on TV just to put it on TV. And with these releases, it kind of shows you how they feel about some of their talent. They just let them go with ease. Like, they didn't care about anything. So, I feel sorry for a lot of these guys. I really, hope during this pandemic they find a way out. Um, it sucks to me. Like, me, I always wanted to be a pro wrestler growing up. And if I knew it would be like this, if you would have told me this, and maybe a couple of years ago in 2020 that pro wrestling would be like this, I probably wouldn't have believed you. And, this kills a lot of people's dreams at this point in time. Just the way the business is going, the direction is going, and even, the pandemic itself is heartbreaking to see a lot of this stuff happen. So, these are some of my thoughts on it. I believe that, hopefully, despite this, horrendous time, and horrendous events, they can still put on a good show. Maybe even give the talent some breaks. You know what I'm saying? Let them stay home. You know what I mean? After all these years of running the show, you kind of think to yourself, well, how can I do that? It's always been the show must go on type of business, despite anything that happened, whether it was deaths, anything. But this case is just like, this is just one of the most messed up times I ever seen. Not just in the pro wrestling world, but in the world itself. So I think this sucks completely. I think Vince McMahon himself has been a genius in marketing the business for so long, but at some point you have to ask, has this guy really gone out of touch? Because some of the stuff he does, you question it all the way. So once again, I wish these guys the best. I hate this happened. And hopefully they find some success somewhere else in the world. You know what I mean? This is one of my first videos. There's going to be plenty more to come. Stick around because I'm going to always give you the truth. I'm always going to be honest. I've always been a pro wrestling fan my whole life. So subscribe, like, hit the notification bell, and stay safe. Please wash your hands, stay home, and just be safe. I'm out.